All right, my math party people, here we go. Part 2 to going ahead and adding and subtracting polynomials. So in this video, we're going to be going over some more complicated examples than the previous video because we need to go ahead and understand that the fundamentals are everything. I've taught you how to go ahead and break down those parentheses and get rid of any negatives. But on top of that, we got to remind ourselves that combining like terms is making sure that the terms have the same variables and the same exponents. If you stick to those fundamentals, this, and as complicated as this can get, is still going to feel pretty easy as long as you know the rules. So I'm going to show you a few examples here. I'm going to show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 8 examples here in this video to basically really make it so that you understand the fundamentals. So here we go. 31 here. We're looking at 31. We see that we have this big parentheses plus all of this. Okay, sounds good. Notice that there's nothing in the way of this parentheses to break it down. Nothing in the way of this second one either. Because notice how there's a parentheses with a plus. Well, if you multiply anything by a positive 1, it stays the same. So when you distribute the positive, again, there's nothing changing. So you can just break down those parentheses nice and easy. And that's exactly what I'll do. So right over here, we have 2m cubed n cubed plus 4m squared plus 7 plus the 5m squared minus the 2. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look for terms to combine, any like terms. I'm going to start off by looking at the 2m cubed n cubed. And I notice that there's nothing else to combine it with. Again, you need the same variables and the same exponents on those same variables. Nothing else that has an m cubed n cubed. So I leave it the same. I'm going to leave that as 2m cubed n cubed. Nothing to combine there. And from there, what I notice up next is that we have 4m squared and 5m squared. Notice it's a positive here and a positive there. So it's basically saying 4 of those m squareds plus 5 of those m squareds. So 4 plus 5 of the same thing is 9 of the same thing. And so that would end up being 9m squared. And then lastly, we have a plus 7 minus 2. 7 minus 2, that's 5. And so boom, right there. And so our answer will be 2m cubed n cubed plus 9m squared plus 5. And the answer there would be revealed right over here as A. As A. Just like that. Now I'm going to try another one here, and I'm going to move forward into one that's a different variant here. Because notice how we are still adding these parentheses here. But up next, I'm going to show you where we have subtraction, where we have even bigger things going on with more negatives. Again, just stay cool and collected, and you're fine. But going through this one here, nothing stopping me from breaking down this parentheses. And here, we're just adding that group. So there's nothing stopping me from breaking down that parentheses either. So what I'll do is I'll rewrite the whole thing without the parentheses and then point out the like terms and combine them, just like that. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead here, just rewrite everything, and just do it carefully. Make sure you don't make a mistake. The last thing you want is to rewrite something incorrectly and then combine the wrong like terms. It's happened to almost everybody. Just make sure you don't make the same mistakes over and over and over again. So here, then we have x cubed y cubed minus 4x cubed. All right, so here we go. I see here that we have 4x cubed y cubed, and we have a plus x cubed y cubed. Remember, if you don't see a number in front of a variable, it's always 1. You have 1 of that thing. Remember, it's the same thing as saying apple or 1 apple. Same exact thing. So here what you're going to do is you're going to say, hey, we have 4 of this thing plus 1 of that same thing. That's going to be 5. 4 plus 1 is 5, and so you're good. We have 5x cubed y cubed. And my ASVAB party people, just like this free video that you're watching, I have more free materials for you, and there's no excuse for you not to get them. I have a free practice test that comes with video solutions so you can learn from every single mistake. And on top of that, I have a free class on Zoom once a week, every single week for 2 hours. So imagine that. You got more free materials than just this YouTube video right over here. Let's keep pushing forward. Sign up right now, and I'll see you in the next class. Let's get started. Up next, I see here that we have minus 2x cubed. Do we have any other x cubed terms out there? Yes, we do, right over here. And so with that, I see that we can go ahead and say that, well, if we have minus 2 of something, then we subtract 4 of that something, we're at minus 6. Subtract 2, subtract 4, you have subtracted 6. You have taken away 6. So we can say minus 6x cubed. And then lastly, we don't have anything to combine with the negative 7 x to the power 4 y cubed. So we can just rewrite that nice and easy, and we're done. And so there it is. And so we're going to pick the answer, and notice how the answer that's actually correct, it looks a little different. It looks a little different. It's going to look like D right over here, I believe. Let me see. No, right over here, C. It's going to look like C because, well, basically this right over here, you can just move it to the front. You're good. You're really good. Remember that if you have 1 plus 2 plus 3, you can move it over as 3 plus 1 plus 2. Just make sure to bring the signs with you. And there it is. So I'm going to get into some increasingly more complex examples. So I'm going to jump on over to problem number 51 to show you an increasingly more difficult example here. So let's take a look at, actually, let's take a look at 52. I like 52. So we're taking a look here and we're saying, hey, okay, let's go ahead and break down the parentheses first, however we can. And I see here that we have a minus the group. So we're going to have to distribute that negative. Remember, when you distribute, you're basically just multiplying it to everything inside the parentheses. So what we have going on over here is nothing stopping us here, so I can rewrite that. But over here, we do have a minus being distributed to everything inside here. So we do need to be careful here. So minus or a negative times n cubed is just going to be minus n cubed. Negative times a positive 4, well, that's going to be minus 4. Negative times a negative 4n to the power 4. A negative times a negative is a positive. So that'll be plus 4n to the power of 4. And there we have it. And so with that said, my math party people, there it is. Now we can combine our like terms and have ourselves a good day. Again, typically I do like to start with the highest degree, the highest exponent. So I'll just start right here with 4n to the power of 4. And there's really nothing stopping us, or there's nothing to combine it with. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite it. 4n to the power of 4. Up next, I noticed that we have, well, a negative n cubed and a negative n cubed. No, those do not cancel out. Those will not cancel out. When you have like negative 1 minus 1, that's negative 2. So if you have negative 1 of something combined with negative 1 of that same thing, that's minus 2 of that same thing. Negative 2 of that same thing. And then lastly over here, we've got a 1 minus a 4. 1 minus 4 is the same as 4 minus 1, but negative. Negative 3. 1 minus 4 is negative 3. And there it is. There's our answer. And so we will go ahead and highlight the correct one, which will be over here. I think it's going to be right here. C. And we are good. All right, so I'm going to keep going here. I'm going to show you another example where it can get increasingly more complex. Let me jump over to 71 here, my math party people. I really want to make sure you understand this full and well. So number 71 right there. Let's take care of business. So here's what we got. We have nothing in the way of this group here. Nothing in the way, so we can actually just start by rewriting that right off the bat. So with that, we're going to have ourselves 8u squared v plus 3u squared v squared. Then what we notice is that we have a negative in front of the entire group. So you got to make sure you apply that negative by distributing it. Got to make sure you do that. And so what you'll see is minus, boom, right there. That'll be minus 6u squared v squared. Apply the negative to the already negative. A double negative is a positive. So plus u squared times v. And then lastly over here, boom, applying a negative to a positive makes it negative. Negative 6u v to the power of 4. So now that we have everything rewritten the right way, now let's take advantage of what we have, combine like terms, and we're good. So I noticed that the highest degree term would be, well, it would be the u v to the power of 4 because you have a 1 there and a 4 there, so a total of 5. We see if we have anything that we can combine it with. Nothing at all. There's nothing we can combine this with, so I'm literally just going to write negative 6u v to the power of 4. Up next, what else can we combine? Well, I notice here that we have ourselves 3u squared v squared minus 6u squared v squared. So if you have a positive 3 of something, minus 6 of that same thing, well, 3 minus 6 is going to be negative 3. Remember, when you have a big number or a small number minus a big number, you can reverse the roles and then just make it negative. Subtraction, if you haven't learned how to deal with subtraction, especially with negatives, make sure to go back into those videos to really get that down. So here we have ourselves negative 3u squared v squared. And then lastly, right over here, we have ourselves 8u squared v plus one of those u squared v's. 8 plus 1 is 9, and so we're good. Plus 9u squared v. And there's our answer. And so that would end up being D, negative 6u v to the power 4, yada, 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 yada. And so I'm going to skip over here to number 91, the last one of the bunch here, where we're going to take a look right over here. And this one looks complicated, right? Because now we have 3 sets of terms. It's going to look crazy. It's going to absolutely look crazy, but it's really not as complicated as you might think. Notice how we have nothing in front of this parentheses, so I can just rewrite it, no problem. Negative 2x cubed y cubed minus 4x squared y cubed. No problem at all there, right? Up next, we have ourselves plus all of this. Again, nothing in the way. You're good. You're fine. And so I would just go ahead and rewrite everything. Plus times a negative, it's going to stay negative. So minus 4x squared y cubed, and then minus 2x cubed y cubed. And then lastly over here, nothing to be done. It's just a plus right there, right? So don't overcomplicate things. It may look complicated, but it's not that crazy. You're fine. So here we're going to add x cubed y cubed plus 3x squared y cubed. And so with that said, my math party people, let's combine some like terms here and have ourselves a good day. So let's start off with the x squared, or the x cubed y cubed terms. There's one there, another one there, and another one here. So when we take a look at all of those same terms, well, what we notice is that, hey, we have minus 2 plus 1. Minus 2 is minus 4, then plus 1 comes down to minus 3. Boom. So we have negative 3 x cubed y cubed. Next up, do we have anything else that we can combine? I see here that we have x squared y cubed, x squared y cubed, x squared y cubed. Those are all like terms. So we're going to combine those, and notice that we have minus 4 plus 3. Minus 4, that's going to end up giving us minus 8. Minus 8 plus 3 is negative 5. And there we have that. Minus 5, x squared, y cubed. And there it is. There it is. That's our answer there, B. Booyah. I'm going to do one more for us here, my math party people. One more right over here, number 92. Or actually, I'll do number 93. This one looks like it's the most complicated one yet. Don't even worry about it, my math party people. Again, one step at a time, and you're good. So this first one just stays the same because there's nothing in front of the parentheses. Nothing at all. So what we'll do, my math party people, is just rewrite that first part. Negative 3 x cubed plus y. Up next, we see that we have a negative in front of this parentheses. So we got to make sure we distribute it, right? So distribute the negative. Booyah, that's going to be minus 3x squared y squared. Then we have ourselves the minus being distributed to another negative. Well, a double negative is a positive. So that'll be positive 5x cubed y. And really quick, before we continue, my math party people, I know you're enjoying this, and you can have thousands of problems just like this in our program. In our program, you have 4 main things to help you succeed and more. But mainly, in our course, you're going to get access to recorded lessons, you're going to get access to guided practice just like this, worksheets that you can print out and try or keep them online, and lastly, speed drills to raise your confidence. That way, when you take the test, there's no test anxiety, there's no pressure, because you've been timed before, you know what to do, and that's the feeling that we want. And all of that's included in our program and more, so take a brief moment, click the link here in this video or in the description to learn about the program, and then reach out to us if you have any questions. Sign up now, let's get going, and let's get back to the problem. Lastly, I see over here that we have another negative that we're going to be distributing. So negative 2y is positive 2y, and then a negative times a positive over here will be negative 6x cubed y. So again, notice, it seems complicated until you take the first step. Then it's one step less complicated. Then another step after that, and another one after that, and we're all good. So here we go, my math party people. What I have over here is I'm going to go ahead and combine some like terms by noticing, I'm going to start off with, the biggest degree. So x squared, y squared terms, let's start with those. We have that there, And well, that's pretty much it. Nothing else has an x squared, y squared. So we can actually just leave that as is. That's going to be, let me put that in green, negative 3x squared, y squared. Next up, do we have anything else? Well, I see here that we have, over here, we have x cubed y. So I'll go ahead and highlight those. 5x cubed y minus 6x cubed y. When we combine those, what do we get? Well, we have 5 minus 6, which is negative 1. So we'll have ourselves minus 1, or just minus, x cubed y. Up next, we're going to take care of anything else here that we see. We see that we have another big one here. We have minus 3x cubed. So I'll just go ahead and rewrite that because there's nothing else that combines with it. Minus 3x cubed. And then lastly, notice that we have, I'm going to use red, a positive y and a positive 2y. 1 plus 2 is 3, and so that's going to be plus 3y. And that's it. That's really it, my math party people. It is that straightforward. As long as you take it one step at a time, remember your rules, you can get these answers fairly straightforward. It's really going to be up to you and your ability to stay calm, follow the rules, and that's it. And so remember, my math party people, up next, you're going to have a worksheet to do on your own. Tons of problems in there. Make sure to use every single problem there to practice your speed, and then really test your speed with the speed drill after that. And then move on into the next little mini section where we're going to be talking about, well, multiplying polynomials and everything else that we need to know. So again, I'm Coach Anderson. I'll see you in the next video. Let's go ahead and keep raising that score. Cheers. My party people, as always, thanks for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That way you can see all the updates that we come out with so you can keep improving. So don't wait, subscribe now, and then while you wait for the next video, look here or there to see a related video that's going to help you improve even more. Let's keep raising that score, and let's get the job we want. I'll see you soon.